bar. So this stuff don't be making sense, but when we follow him, we're not supposed to understand everything. The basic understanding of it all is that we supposed to just do what he say. And we know what happens with obedience, right? We talk about the importance of obedience and what happens when we're obedient. So being obedient, even when you don't even really fully understand what's going on, it's important to know that he in control. I just want to give thanks for everybody here. Thanks for the opportunity from the Most High just to wake up and just have breath in our lungs and get together and study. I thank him for all y'all here. We always have this full packed house. It's always a blessing to share the word with like-minded people. We don't want to be people who just seeking out people just to have a big audience, big crowd or anything, because I think that it feeds into vanity. And we're not seeking or searching out vanity or validation outside anything other than the Most High Yahuwah, the King of Israel. I thank him for sustaining me and for sustaining all of us, because we're all going through life. So hallelujah to all that.
Hallelujah. Thanking and praising the Most High for another day. I thank him for life, health, and strength. I thank him for his guidance, his him providing for us, him protecting us. I just thank him for all things.
Hallelujah. We're gonna get into a study. Let's see where we start. Me and Jameen was studying earlier, going through something in the scripture earlier this week, where we came across, like, if you got the Bible app, it give you a verse of the week. I mean, a verse of the day. Excuse me. And Malachi came up. Anybody familiar with the book of Malachi? That's the last book of the Tanakh, or what's commonly referred to as the Old Testament. And we come up with the phrase or the part where it says, Esau, I hate it. Y'all familiar with that? I'm going to go ahead and get to that right now. We'll share the screen. But we know it comes up with, in Malachi 1, actually. We'll go ahead and read it, and we're going to get some context of what exactly is going on. This is a prophecy to Malachi, who was a prophet for the Most High. And he was just telling him like how he loved Israel and things like that. And then throughout the chapter, he would go ahead and condemn certain practices that was going on with the people, or events in the temple, or how people wasn't respecting Yahuwah, and future things that was going to come. When it starts off, it talks about how he cares for Israel, his chosen nation. And we'll start, it says, the oracle of the word of Yahuwah to Israel by Malachi. It says, I have loved you, says Yahuwah, but you say, how have you loved us? And this is pretty rhetorical. Yahuwah telling us he loves us. And for anybody who was like, well, how you love us? You like, how do we love you? I mean, how do we know you love us? And it goes on to say, is Esau not Jacob's brother, declares Yahuwah. Yet I have loved Jacob, but Esau I've hated. That's the part that I really want to stop on and focus on just to start. What the Most High does, he makes note that it was two brothers, or two particular people that he had to choose from. He did choose from, not necessarily had to, but he chose from. And it says, yeah, I've loved Jacob, but Esau I hated. Hate is the key word right here that I want to also talk about. But just to give context of what's going on, he's basically saying, I loved y'all, so I chose y'all. That's how we know that Yahuwah loves us, because he chose us. He chose us to shine his light through the light that's supposed to go from him through us into the nations. So he's saying that him choosing us shows the significance in his affection for us. And it says that he loved us, but he hated Esau. When I was explaining right here, the word hated, is often taken out of context, like the Most High just hated Esau. Like he just hate his descendants. And people who push this particular theory, they are the people who call Esau's descendants Edomites, which that's what they are, but they will refer to them as modern day white people. And they would twist this to the Most High hates white people, which that isn't the case, because in context, the only thing that's being said here is that the way I show y'all that I love y'all is I chose y'all and I rejected Esau. And what the context of reject is remember what he's talking about when he chose us, he gave the original promise to Abraham. So it went for Abraham, Isaac, then Jacob. The big thing that's a big difference in here is that Jacob wasn't the oldest. And we know that usually the oldest inherits the birthright or the way of practice or how things go. Everything is usually given to the oldest, and then it trickles down. And we're going to see exactly how this occurred and how Jacob became chosen as opposed to Esau. In addition to actual things happening, it was prophesied to happen. So to go on, it says, I have laid waste his hill countries and left his heritage to the jackals of the desert. If Edom says we are shattered, but we will rebuild the ruins, Yahuwah of hosts says they may build, but I will tear down, and they will be called the wicked country and the people with whom Yahuwah is angry forever. For your own eyes shall see this, and you shall say, great is Yahuwah beyond the borders of Israel. So just as a historical narrative, Esau and Jacob became bitter enemies for reasons that we'll see when we go back to studying Genesis, actually Genesis 25th chapter. And the anger or the disdain that Esau had for Jacob was perpetual. He was super mad that he was trying to war with him, fight with him. When the children of Israel was trying to cross through the land, he wouldn't allow passage through his particular country or anything like that. It was just perpetual. Modern day people who take this out of context think this has been a lifelong duel between white people and black people based on this, but that couldn't be further from the truth. And we'll see when Esau was born. We'll see how when Esau was born, how they used certain physical aspects between them to try to say that they were born two different, for the lack of a better word, two different colors. Mind you, they come from the same mother and father, but for some reason, people try to use this as a way to justify being mad at the white people they mad at, which if that's the reason you need, then hey, have at it. But if we're going to talk facts, we're going to talk facts. And with that, go ahead to Genesis 25. And I just wanted to use this and stuff because this will catapult the conversation between me and Jermaine. Do anybody got any questions so far? Anything we talked about?
No, I don't. No.
All right. So we go to Genesis 25th chapter. This is on the heels of Abraham's death. Abraham. Anybody know the relation from Abraham to Isaac?
What do you mean the relation?
What was Isaac to Jacob? To Abraham, I mean.
Oh. Isaac was his Abraham's son.
Yes. So Isaac was Abraham's son. Where we're going to pick up at us in Genesis 25 is after Abraham had died and he had gave a portion to Isaac and the other children. And then it talks about what happened with Ishmael. I remember Abraham had several children.
Mm-hmm.
But the promise only came through Jacob, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is when they were about to have children. We're going to read verse 19. We're going down. This is the account of the family line of Abraham's son, Yitzhak or Isaac. Abraham became the father of Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he married Rebekah, daughter of Bethuel, the Aramean from Padan Aram, and the sister of Laban, the Aramean. Isaac prayed to Yahuwah on behalf of his wife because she was childless. Yahuwah answered his prayer, and his wife Rebekah became pregnant. The babies jostled each other within her, and she said, why does this happen to me? So she went and inquired to Yahuwah. So when it's saying it's jostled, like they was fighting, tugging, however baby's going to do it, but it was some kind of unsettled fighting going on inside of her. And it wasn't just the kicks that I'm sure that y'all get. I don't know what it feels like to have a person inside you moving. But I imagine it was something that was less than common because she was, and it was her first pregnancy, but it was still something she never heard of. So she said, I got to figure this out. Like this is a little bit more different than the beans and lentil I was eating, I would imagine. So she went, she prayed to Yahuwah about it. And Yahuwah said to her, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 peoples from within you will be separated. 1 people will be stronger than the other, and the older will serve the younger. So the pronouncement of that it will be a division between these twins was said right here by Yahuwah. 1 will be stronger over the other, and the older will serve the younger. When the time came for her to give birth, there were twin boys in her womb. The first to come out was red, and his whole body was like a hairy garment, so they called him Esau. The name Esau just means hairy, and we see that when we go to. Can y'all see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Am I at the right? No. It's the wrong one. Hold up, this thing in my way on my screen that y'all can't see. Let's see something. Okay. Esau and his proper name is said Esau. But the word, his name just simply means hairy. Can y'all see this right here where I highlight?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the name Esau means. Remember, usually they would name people based on characteristics, things that they exemplify. So right here, he was called hairy. Trying to see something. So he came out real hairy, and just to show like what people be saying when they just say silly things or things that don't make sense to me, is that they say that y'all know white people real hairy. They say, you know, them cavemen be, things like that, to supposedly lend credence to what they believe, which that's real basic in thought, because we know we seen, and we just gonna say black and white, but black children who came out hairy too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when Desi was born, she had a lot of hair and stuff, and that's how come I came up with the nickname Chi Chi, because she reminded me of a Munchie Chi when she was born. So to say that somebody was white just because, or European because they was hairy, is something that's real silly to me. But that's something that they would use to justify, which, for the lack of a better word, man, I hate to say, but they're racism, because it becomes a race thing for them as opposed to some nationalism, how the Most High deemed it, and how the Most High wanted things to go. Remember when we talk, like, we have our issues with white people, and that's because of times and the place that we at right now. The stuff that we dealing with based on colorism or our idea of racism and stuff is modern. This ain't something that they was doing or that was people was dealing with back in these times right here. But again, when people only focus on like modern ideas of like how life go, you'll get lost in a lot of things. And do y'all get what I'm saying when I say that?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you try to apply modern issues
Yeah.
to the ancient days and stuff, it don't mesh, and things become mixed up and convoluted. So again, we know Esau means hair. So it says that he came out here like a garment, so they named him Esau. After this, his brother came out with his hand grasping Esau's heels. So he was named Jacob or Yaakov. So when we go to his name right here, the name of Jacob, and we see where I highlight, it says heel holder or supplanter. Well, they look, he's holding his foot. And he called him heel holder or supplanter. Do you know what supplanter means?
Mm-mm. No.
No.
To supplant is to like take somebody's place or to replace. That's what supplant means. to take place of or substitute for another. Now remember how it was prophesied that the older will serve the younger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So all these things right here was being basically brought to life right here. And I don't know why this keeps switching to it can switch to the NIV. I don't really read the NIV. So all like the prophecies and stuff that was told to Rebecca in the womb was just now starting to happen right here. It was just happening live action right before her eyes. So when we continue, and this is how come we always talk about how names mean something, because a lot of times with our ancestors or people in the scriptures, this is why it's important for people to get like names right, because names mean things. Names have meaning. Names tell a story. Where was I at? Okay. Afterward, his brother came out and he was holding Esau's heel, so his name was called Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when she bore him. And I remember what was said at the beginning and stuff, that when he prayed about it. How old was he when he prayed about it?
Was he 90? 98?
Verse 20 says Isaac was 40 years old when he
40.
met Rebecca.
Oh.
And he prayed. Now he was 40 when they got married. I don't know exactly which age he was when they got prayed, but long story short, she ain't had any babies till he was 60. So between the time of them get married, sometime the prayer happened, but the response to the prayer didn't happen for 20 years. That's a long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just time to the Most High. And then no such thing as a long time and short time. But that's how the Most High works sometimes, man. It don't just happen instantaneous. Even when we read this, if we don't pay attention to these particulars and stuff, we think that she went there the next day and she came back and said, hey, I ain't got no pregnancy test. It's only such time. We ain't got none yet, but I think I'm pregnant. So it didn't happen instantaneous. Remember, the Most High don't act on our every whim. He don't react to our reactions, right?
Right.
We talked about this all the time, that he's not on our time. As a matter of fact, he's not restricted by time, or he's not influenced by time. That's what leads us to the fact that we blessed that he's not as impatient as we are. So he was 60 when verse 27 says, when the boys grew up, Esau was a skillful hunter, a man of the field, while Jacob was a quiet man dwelling in tents. Isaac loved Esau because he ate of his game, but Rebekah loved Jacob. So we got two instances of this. One was always with his father, and the other one was a mama's boy. Esau was always out in them fields hunting and stuff. He liked the whatever they catch, they kill mentality. He would always be out there with his father. And Jacob sitting around, hanging around at the house and stuff, dwelling in tents. I don't know what he was doing, but he was on some laid back stuff. So I'm sure he was around his mother more, so she gravitated towards him as opposed to Esau, who gravitated to his father. Ideally, how the setup is, the lineage or the birthright would have went from Isaac to Esau. The story, had it been traditional, would have been Abraham, Isaac, Esau, as opposed to how we always hear or read it as Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So we're gonna see what caused this to happen. How the prophecy came about. Once when Jacob was cooking stew, Esau came in from the field and he was exhausted. And Esau said to Jacob, let me eat some of the red stew, for I'm exhausted. Therefore, his name was called Edom. So this is how he gets the nickname of Edom, because he wanted some of that red stew. And can y'all see this right here?
Mm-hmm.
Say Edom.
Yes.
Edom. And we see right here where it says red. So when we hear red, do y'all ever like refer to, like, in your whole history of life of being just talking about people, y'all ever call white people red?
Mm-hmm.
You call white people red?
No.
Red face. Red face.
You called a white person red face before. Why I said that though? Because like we refer to light skinned people as what?
Red.
Like red bones and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that was red used to be my nickname, so that's why I know I didn't call them white
That's
people
red.
red.
That's Red's nickname too.
Is it?
But remember, historically, Malcolm X was referred to as Detroit Red before he became, so when he was out in the streets and things like that. And just throughout time, we would like see people who come from the South, they down in that Arkansas or that Alabama, Mississippi dirt, they get called red.
Yeah. Yep. You're right. Yep.
So things like that. It's just that people would just who are of the persuasion that Edomites or descendants of Esau were just white people. And they use these things and stuff with no substance to what they say outside of their emotions. Um, Incidentally, people who are quote unquote white supremacists who use the scripture to support their theories and stuff, they argue the same points as these particular individuals who feel like they pro-Israel as far as we go. It's neither here nor there, but just something to highlight as we go. But the thing is, Esau came in, he out there hunting, doing his thing, whatever he do out in the field, he was hungry. He said Jacob was always in there with his mama, so he was in there cooking, getting his stew ready. And he asked for some of that red stew for him exhausted. And this is how his nickname occurred outside of just his physical disposition. Jacob said, and matter of fact, just this right there though. When people use the fact that he asked for some stew, they'll say that his appearance is also what led this. Go back to here that his appearance didn't have anything to do with it. It was that he asked for the red stew. And Jacob said in exchange, "Sell me your birthright now." Now, do y'all know how extremely heavy that is right there? Like he asked for some food, you say, "If you give me your birthright." Esau said, "I'm about to die. What use is a birthright to me?" Jacob said, "Swear to me now." So he swore to him and sold his birthright to Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and lentil stew, and he ate and drank and rose as he went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. Um, they was at home. They went down the road. They wasn't somewhere where they was down to the last of the food, and he had to just struggle to get it. Imagine he just come in like, "I'm starving to death. I'm about to die." That's how it is. It's not like he was actually about to die, right? Are y'all getting that?
Yeah, say that again. I'm not getting it.
Okay. When he came in, he said he was tired, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he asked for some of the food that Jacob was cooking.
Right.
And he said, "Sell me your birthright." That was Jacob's response.
Oh,
And he said,
good.
"I'm about to die." He said, "What's the use of the birthright to me?" So he basically like, "You can have this, I ain't tripping off that."
Okay, yeah.
So Jacob, I'm sure Jacob took it like, "Oh, he can't be serious that he gave it to me for some of this food." And then he said, he basically, "I'm starving." He said, "What that birthright mean to me?" So Jacob, to confirm it, he asked him to swear. And he swore and he sold it to him. He gave it to him, he ate and he drank and he rose and went his way. It says, "Thus Esau despised his birthright." So what's that saying is that he didn't value the birthright to where he was willing to give it away for some stew and some lentils.
So my uh,
Go ahead.
okay, hold on. Okay, so hey, sell me your birthright. He's like, I'm hungry, right?
Mm-hmm.
How are they? How do they have two different birthrights though? How can you sell me something that I have? It's like Corey said, me telling Corey, sell me your birthright, but we're the same family. So I guess that's where I'm kind of confused. Sell
Okay.
me your birthright, but if we're both from the same parents, how is that possible?
First off, let's go to see what a birthright was, right?
Okay, yeah. Birthright. Let's see.
Brenda, it says a right, possession, or privilege that is one's due by birth. A special privilege accorded to a firstborn, right? So the whole thing is like, since he was the oldest, he was the firstborn, that he was the one who was entitled to inheritance.
Okay, so in here, okay.
So that's what it is. Like you inherit the things as the oldest person, as the oldest child. We see that just in general when wills are written or things like that.
Mhm.
Usually
Yeah,
possessions, or if you have a man who's a king and the kingship goes from him when he passes away to his oldest son, right?
yeah,
You understand that?
yeah. So basically, birthright is the rights, the inheritance. They get pretty much
Yeah,
everything. Okay.
that's exactly what it is.
It's the
Uh,
firstborn.
Go ahead, Brenda. You say that again.
I just said it's the firstborn.
That,
Basically, firstborn rights. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. So he despised it, meaning it didn't mean nothing to him to inherit all what was going on. That wasn't his focus, right? So it was just saying that he despised it. This is how important it is to understand also too, when you take an oath or you swear something, that is binding, that it's a binding thing, whether you think I was just playing or not. That's how come in the context, and when people say they sell their souls, things like that, it's something that can be done. You can trade in your soul by being accepting whatever's offered to you in exchange for your soul, your obedience, or your dedication. Can anybody think of maybe the most popular instance of someone attempting to buy somebody's soul in the scripture? I'll give y'all a hint. If you fall down and worship me, is what was said.
The adversary.
Mm-hmm. After the Messiah got baptized, immersed, he went out in the wilderness and he was tempted by the adversary of Satan. And he just made him all these promises of things that will happen if you will worship me. So these things are real. And I'm sure it's people who have bowed to the other powers and things like that in exchange for material wealth and material things and notoriety, because that's exactly what the adversary offered the Messiah. Um, the adversary has a rulership on this earth where he can provide people things like that. That's how come a lot of wicked people excel according to these worldly standards. So I say all to say this, that there can be an exchange of stuff under oaths. That's why we shouldn't take oaths or swear to things that we don't intend to uphold. Especially we make a vow to the Most High. You make a vow to when you got to stand on it. We seen that in the study when the man vowed that he would sacrifice the first thing that came out that door when the Most High gave him a victory, and it ended up being his daughter. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all remember that, Jermaine?
No, I don't. No, not really.
We
Not
got Jeremiah 24, Jeremiah 25. We just went over that last week.
Hmm.
I don't think it was in Jeremiah. I don't remember. Jeremiah is just a prophecy
Okay.
concerning Jeremiah, really a prophetic book. It don't talk. It might have been in Judges. I
Just
think
okay.
It
Judges.
was. It was.
We'll get back to that one day, Jermaine. But you don't remember when the man had to come out, he had to sacrifice his own daughter. She went out there and hung out with her friends and stuff. They cried and stuff. Then she came back, told her father, "Do what you got to do." But I,
No,
I,
I don't remember that clearly.
I
Mm-hmm.
can't remember names and things like that. I got to start getting names embedded in my brain. But going on, now there was a famine in the land besides the former. You know what? I intentionally didn't want to read this because we talking about something in particular. I want to jump all the way down to verse 34. If y'all want to, y'all can go back and read between there. But I'm trying to have a particular study about particular things. So verse 34 says, when Esau was 40 years old, he took Judith, the daughter of Beri, the Hittite, to be his wife, and Basemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite. And they made life better for Rebekah and Isaac and Rebekah. In context, the Hittites are descendants of Heth. Heth was the son of Canaan. So he would have been like a great grandson to Noah. But the thing is, they were Canaanites. It was always friction or some kind of beef or some kind of issue going on between the Israelites and the Canaanites. So for him, for Esau to take a wife from amongst them, it bothered his people. They didn't like it. They didn't like him being married to them. So it was a little bitterness attached to that. This is where it gets heavy, and it shows like where the real beef started between Esau and Jacob. When Isaac was old and his eyes were dim so that he could not see, he called Esau, his older son, and said to him, "My son." He answered him, he said, "Here I am." Now at this time, I'm pretty sure that Isaac didn't know about the transaction of the birthright.
What you mean he didn't? Oh, okay.
Like Isaac, like they didn't, I don't think it was told to him at this particular point, right?
Oh, no. Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, though, like it wasn't nothing you can be like, "No, I changed my mind. That's my birthright." It was binding. Your word was your bond in these instances right here. As soon as I finish this little passage after form, I ask y'all a question. He said he called unto Esau and he said, "Here I am." He said, "Behold, I'm old. I do not know the day of my death." So he basically, I'm dying. I know I'm dying. I'm getting up there and stuff. He said, "Now then, take your weapons, your quiver, and your bow, and go out into the field and hunt game." Game just mean like animals, things like that. So when I say game, it just means hunt particular animals and things like that. And prepare for me delicious food. Prepare for me delicious food, such as I love, and bring it to me so that I may eat, that my soul may bless you before I die. So he's like, I want one more meal. I want some good food. You know how I like it. You're gonna fix it how I like it. And he said, when after I eat, I'll bless you. Uh, is lying a sin?
You said what?
Is lying a sin?
No.
It ain't.
No.
This
Uh,
picture said,
You think it is, Brenda?
I say yeah because the Ten Commandments said, well, the uh, Ten Commandments says, "Thou shalt
that's
not
not
bear
a lot.
false witness."
Is bearing false witness the same
It's a
thing?
lot. Yeah. No.
I don't know. That's
Because when you
lying.
bear false witness, you lying on somebody. And when you bear witness, you saying you basically witnessed them do something that they didn't do, right?
Right.
And it's in such of a manner where you can get them indicted or in trouble. That's what it means to
Hmm.
bear false witness. Now there are times where lying to get people in trouble, that is transgression, that is sin, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
That is sin. But I wanted to ask that because just in context, Brenda, you remember the story when Abraham was in Egypt and he told the people that Sarah was his sister?
Uh-huh.
I remember
He
that.
was scared they might kill him.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Do you think that he was counted as a sinner for that?
No, I don't think so.
And that's why I'm saying like a lot of things are just context based, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
When when the people of in Daniel's time where they went basically was trying to get them in trouble. Well, I don't want to use that because it's not a good instance because they was following the decree of the law of the land when they said Daniel wouldn't worship the statue. So they went and told on him, but they still paid for it because they were being wicked. Um, remember the Pharaoh's wife who said that Joseph raped her?
Mm-hmm.
That's bearing false witness. Like she lied on him and she's bearing false witness, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
things
Yeah.
like that will be called a sin or transgression. I asked that just to lead into what we're gonna read next. And this, listen, me and Jameen talk about this all the time. And she tried to deny it, and Brenda, you try to deny it too, and I'll call you a liar. I'll call you a liar. And Jameen laughed because she knew what I was gonna say. When parents have children of the same gender, they have one that they like better. Not necessarily don't love one, but it's one that just gravitate to you. You like that one better. You go out your way extra for that one, then you do the other one. Even if you don't want to admit it, even if you don't notice it, it's subconsciously there, I believe. I got that with mama. Between when me and Sean was little, certain things would go on that mama would show favor to me in the instance and things like that. I would borrow money from her and she wouldn't say nothing to me. But Sean and I borrow like $100, she wouldn't say nothing. Ask me to give back or anything. To this day, mama don't always make me pay her back. But Sean could ask for $20 and she be on him the day before he said he's gonna pay back. And I don't even think she noticed it. But it was just like when we was younger and stuff, I gravitated towards mama and Sean did daddy. Same type of thing. Now, Rebecca was listening when Isaac spoke to his son Esau, but she kind of got a little extra. So when Esau went to the field to hunt for game and to bring it, Rebecca said to her son Jacob, I heard your father speak to your brother Esau. He did what? Shh, listen. No. Bring me game and prepare me delicious food that I may eat it and bless you before you eat it before Yahuwah before I die. So she's sitting here, she listening to this stuff, and she's like, oh no. Now, therefore, my son, obey my voice as I command you. Go to the flock and bring me 2 good young goats so that I may prepare for them delicious food for your father, such as he loves. Now, she knows exactly what he loves because she been cooking for him since they met back in the day, 20 years before they got here, remember? She been cooking for a long time, so she know how to get this cracking. And you should bring it to your father to eat so he may bless you before he dies. This is deceitful, ain't it?
Yeah.
Y'all think this is pretty deceitful?
Yeah, it is.
And it teetered based on our judgments, how we would perceive things as wicked. Do it seem wicked to y'all or sneaky?
It, it is, and that's where I know, like with Rebecca, I ain't got no favorites like that. Because this is crazy.
This is the thing, though. Sometimes crazy is part of the Most High's will. And I
Oh
say
yeah.
that to say this. Remember, this is prophesied to happen, right?
Yeah.
It's the Most High's will, and this how come like we get into this moral dilemma or these things where we try to consider like, and what can we say? Because it's the Most High will that these things unfold. In our minds, we don't think it's ideal, but then again, who are we? Not the authors of life, right? Like we not up here said we didn't plan the end
Right.
in
Yeah.
the beginning.
Yeah.
But Jacob said to Rebekah, his mother, behold, my brother Esau is a hairy man, and I'm smooth. Like, I ain't got all this hair on me and stuff that he got. Perhaps my father will fail me, and I should seem to be mocking him, and he bring a curse upon myself and not a blessing. Curses and blessings was heavy in the ancient Near East. Like it was something that people really adhered to. Like people didn't want to get cursed. People look for blessings. You ain't want to, don't put no curse on me. Things like that. So it was something serious to him to where he trusts his mother. But he like, nah. He said, this is going too far. He said, I ain't got no hair on me like Esau. I can't pretend I'm here. And then he gonna feel like I'm trying to be funny or deceive me. He gonna call me. He gonna
But
curse. Go ahead. What you say?
but why at no time did Jacob say I don't have to do all that because Esau gave me his birthright anyway?
They ain't say birthright. It's a blessing.
No.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Jermaine, 100%. Because I don't care how much I read and understand this scripture. I just don't like. I don't like. I
Okay.
don't like that Esau, asked him for his birthright. I know that. Yeah, I got to
You
get.
don't
Right.
like
So
what?
what
Like
I was
what?
what I was
Yeah.
saying what I was saying was Jake Rebecca wants him to do X, Y, and Z to get the blessing,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's not forget when Esau was hungry, he gave him his birthright. So why didn't Jacob stop Rebecca at that time and say, I don't have to do that for his blessing because Esau gave me his birthright anyway?
Well, let's read further and we'll see. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Brenda, what you said that you just didn't like what though?
The fact that Rebecca did that, she was
Yeah.
deceptive, and I like that.
Yeah. And the skins of the young goat she put on his hands and his arms. I'm sorry, wait a minute, wait. So he went, curse. What a curse.
Let your curse be on me, my son. Only obey my voice and go
Okay.
bring them to me.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
So Destiny got me right back at 13, where he said he didn't want to get cursed. His mother said, "Don't let your curse be up on me, my son. Only obey my voice and go bring them to me." This was dire for her. This was something super serious for her. And just in context, just to back up just a little bit, whether we agree with it or not, I think that she had an insight or intuition that um, Isaac didn't have. Remember, the Most High told her about one was going to rule over the other, right? So she was privy to this. I don't know if she relayed this to Isaac, right? But at some point it came out. Isaac, first off, the birthright, it's a channel that goes through. But the Most High got a plan, and we see how come Esau wouldn't have been fit to be the vessel for the Messiah to come through, because eventually that's what it all culminates to. 12 tribes, and then the Messiah. Remember how it grieved them when he was marrying the Canaanites? He married the Canaanite women.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, the Canaanites, for the most part, served other powers. They served Baal and different powers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that he had the proclivities or the ability to be swayed by these women or by these customs. And if you read throughout, you're gonna see how Esau, he distinctly married outside of Israel. So when we read, we get an outline of everything. We don't know details of like conversations and things went on to where they was like, this might not be the one for everything to go through, right? The Most High has a plan. His plan has a purpose, but that's just my conjecture. I don't know if this actually happened, but we're gonna see further and stuff to where as we read, we just stop as we go.
And maybe Esau was rebelling because he sold his birthright under the pressure of him being hungry, and he really didn't. You know how you can say, "Well, I was just playing,"
Yeah, and this is
but
what I was
like you said, it
highlighting
was
earlier.
about
No, this is what I was highlighting earlier. When he
right.
came in, he was hungry, but it's not. He wasn't near death. He at home. He always out in the field too. If he wanted to, he could have just beat Jacob up and took the food. If we just gonna be clear, right? If you down that bad and stuff, for one, I don't think your brother dislikes you. He's not an evil person. He traded. He said, "What do I care about a birthright? I'm hungry." So remember, at the end of that passage, they say he despised his birthright. The birthright didn't mean nothing to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
It had no bearing on his day-to-day issues. So he was always just out in the field handling business and stuff. I don't think he was the person who thought down the line on certain things like this. I'm sorry. So he went into his father. Okay, I gotta go back to 14. So he went and took them and brought them to his mother, and his mother prepared delicious food, such as his father loved. Then Rebekah took the best garments of Esau, her older son, which were with her in the house, and put them on Jacob, her younger son. So she went and got the clothes and stuff that he usually wear. And the skins of the young goat she put on his hands and on the smooth parts of his neck. She was slick with it. She like he hairy right here and stuff. So we're gonna put all the she was on it. She was on one. So he went to his father and said, "My father." I imagine he tried to change voice a little bit. And he said, "Here I am. Who are you, my son?" Jacob said to his father, "I'm Esau, your firstborn. I've done as you told me. Now sit up and eat my game, that your soul may be blessed." But Isaac said to his son, "How is it that you have found it so quickly, my son? Because I just sent you out to hunt. How you get back so quick?" He answered, "This is kind of it's kind of scary. Hey, this is how it worked. Because Yahuwah, your Elohim, granted me success, and in a way, he did. Right? It's not how we would have thought of it, but at the end, who is the author of all things,
Yeah.
and who said that the younger was going to be served by the older?"
Yeah.
Then Isaac said to Jacob, "Please come near that I may feel you, my son, to know whether you are really my son Esau or not." It ain't making sense to him. Isaac ain't no fool. Now Isaac, he had a life of his own where he dealt with a lot of things and stuff to where he had to have a spirit on him that just wasn't so easily fooled. Plus, they were his sons. So Jacob went near to East Isaac, his father, who felt him and said, "The voice is Jacob's, but the hands are the hands of Esau." Can y'all imagine how trembling Jacob might have been feeling at this point?
Man,
He noticed me. He
man, Kayla, get your hands off me.
And he did not recognize him because his hands were hairy like his brother's hands. So he blessed him. He said, "Are you really my son Esau?" He answered, "I am." Then he said, "Bring it near to me that I may eat of my son's game and bless you." Isaac was slick. So he brought it near to him and he ate, and he brought him wine and he drank. Then his father Isaac said to him, "Come near and kiss me, my son." Spirit still ain't accepting the fact that this Esau, even though you're hairy, this just ain't giving me that Esau feel. I'm with you out in the field. We hunt, we talk, we hang out, we do all this stuff together. I'm not getting that outside of the hair that I feel. And kissed him. And Isaac smelled the smell of his garments and blessed him and said, now, when he told him to give me a kiss, he's not really concerned about that kiss. He said, "I got to smell you." And so this is how cunning Rebecca was. She knew that if he had the clothes on, that he was going to smell like him. "See, the smell of my son is the smell of the field that Yahuwah is blessed. May Elohim give you all the dew of heaven and of the fatness of the earth and plenty of grain and wine. Let people serve you and nations bow down to you. Be Lord over your brothers, or master over your brothers, and may your mother's son bow down to you. Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be everyone who blesses you." This is just the same promise that he given Abraham. Whoever bless you, I'm gonna bless them. Whoever curse you, I'm gonna curse them. So this is the promises, like outside now of the birthright. That's something like all the stuff you got, all the material things. Now these blessings, it's the spiritual thing, really, the favor from the Most High. That's what this is, okay? Are y'all with me?
Yeah.
So this is the blessing. See, the birthright was the physical things that you're gonna get: the land, the goats, the servants, the food, all that stuff. This is the difference in these two right here. This is the blessing that he gave Abraham and he gave Isaac. And now Isaac was transitioning this to what he thought was Esau. Do y'all understand what the difference is between a birthright and a blessing?
Mm-hmm.
You got that, Jermaine?
No.
Okay, the
Say that
birthright,
again.
everything in your bank account, if you leave that to one of the boys and stuff, that's their birthright. The oldest, Jalen gonna get it because he's older, right?
Yeah.
All that stuff, physical, material things, that's the birthright. You have a right to
Right.
birth.
Yeah.
These blessings are spiritual things, promises from the Most High, from
Okay.
Moses
Yeah.
to Abraham, Abram to Isaac. Then Isaac thinking he gave it to Esau, but it's going to Jacob as the Most High willed it. As soon as Isaac had finished blessing Jacob, when Jacob had scarcely gone out from the, did you get that? Did you understand? Okay. Had gone out from the presence of Isaac, his father, Esau's brother came in from his hunting. Like soon as Jacob left, Isaac popped up. He also prepared delicious food and brought it to his father, and he said to his father, "Let my father arise and eat of his son's game that you may bless me." I'm sure he came in vigorous, full of energy. This was his role, though. They friends. They not just, they have a special bond. And he was only too happy to go doing what his father said, super obedient to what he said in this instance. His father Isaac said to him, "Who are you?" And he answered, "I'm your son, your firstborn Esau." Then Isaac trembled violently and said, "Who was it then that hunted game and brought it to me, and I ate it all before you came, and I blessed him? Yes, and he shall be blessed." Now he's Isaac mad, right? It's that old man tremble where you look and you kind of like, oh, you scared, and you remember he old, but he was mad though. And he jumped up, and this is what he said. He said, "I blessed him, so he gonna be blessed." This is how come I was saying earlier that these things, once you said these things, they word meant more in these instances than they do today. When you said something was gonna happen, it actually happened. You couldn't renege on your word. Everything was basically thought of as being done in the face or before the Most High. So you had to be careful what you said. That's why it tell you don't swear things and stuff that you're not going to adhere to because you endure a curse. As soon as Esau heard the words of his father, he cried out with an exceedingly great and bitter cry and said to his father, "Bless me, even me, O my father." But he said, "Your brother came deceitfully." And remember what Jacob mean? Deceiver.
Mm-hmm.
Your brother came deceitfully. He has taken away your blessing. Is he not rightly named? Esau said, "Is he not rightly named Jacob?" So he said he living up to his name. For he cheated me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he has taken away my blessing. So it wasn't the same thing. You see, that's 2 distinct things.
Yep.
Then he said, "Have you not reserved a blessing for me?" So he's like, "You ain't got nothing for me?" Isaac answered and said to Esau, "Behold, I have made him lord over you, and all his brothers I have given him for servants, and with grain and wine I have sustained him. What then can I do for you, my son?" So he said, "I done gave him everything. I done pronounced this. It's already been spoken. I don't have the power to do it. I can't go back against it." Esau said to his father, Have you but one blessing, my father? Bless me even also, O my father." And Esau lifted up his voice and he wept. This hurt right here. He was hurt, crying. He thought he was bitter. That birthright didn't mean nothing. I'm sorry. The birthright didn't mean nothing, but the blessing did. Then Isaac, his father, answered and said to him, "Behold, away from the fatness of the earth shall your dwellings be, and away from the dew of heaven on high. By your sword you shall live, and you shall serve your brother. But when you grow restless, you shall break his yoke from your neck." So he just told him what was going to happen, and this what became of the Edomites and things like that. They dwelled in mountains and stuff like that. They was real violent, always fighting with people and things like that. And eventually, they wanted to be from up under Jacob or Israel and war with him. Now Esau hated Jacob because of the blessings with which his father had blessed him. And Esau said to himself, "The days of mourning for my father are approaching. Then I will kill my brother Jacob." So he said, "As soon as daddy died, I'm killing him." He was that mad. And he must have been like just saying it aloud, telling people or things like that, so the word got around. And we see that in verse 42, it says, "But the words of Esau, her older son, were told to Rebekah. So she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said to him, Behold, your brother Esau comforts himself about you by planning to kill him." They say revenge is the dish best served cold. Do y'all know what that means? What that phrase means?
Not revenge best served
When
cold.
you're,
Not
is it when you're
prepared.
not
I don't know.
angry? Is it when you're calm? When you're calm and not angry?
Basically, we done gave it time to settle.
Okay.
It's best served cold. Like when you cook food, it's hot and you get it right then, usually, right? But it's saying it's a dish best served cold, meaning you get time to die. Like you still angry, you still got that plot, but you thinking long game, and that's what Esau was on. And they said he comforted himself with the thought, like, "Oh, it's messed up now." But soon as Isaac died, I'm killing him. Like that's what gave him comfort, that knowing that he had revenge plotted. And I don't know the ins and outs in particular, but ideally you think, well, why didn't Rebecca intervene and go talk to her son, right? Why didn't she try to diffuse it? But he and her probably didn't have a relationship to where that was possible. Now, therefore,
Because
my
he knew.
son, go ahead.
I was gonna say no, they didn't have a relationship because he knew what she did.
I don't think she knew that. And the reason why when we read, we see why I don't think she knew. He knew. Because I doubt at one point he ever said, "Mama made me." You know what I'm saying? But we get to why I don't think he did. Now, therefore, my son, obey my voice. Arise and flee to Laban, my brother, and Haran, and stay with him a while your brother, until your brother's fury turns away, until your brother angers turns away from you, and he forgets what you have done to him. See, that's how come I think he'd have been angry at both had he knew. Because she just said, "Forget what you did to him." Not we did, but you did, right?
Man.
Then I was saying and bring you from there. Why should I be befret of you both in one day? So why should I lose both of y'all? Why, if he kill you. He gonna incur some kind of you know what I'm saying? He gonna get killed too. Perhaps he might get stoned or something like that. And she said, "Why should I lose two of y'all in one day?" And it is the deceit is heavy, right? Then Rebecca said to Isaac, now she's speaking to her husband, "I loathe my life because of the Hittite women." Now remember, Esau married them, right? The Hittites.
Yep.
Mhm.
She hated it. And she said, if Jacob marries one of the Hittite women like these, one of the women of the land, what good will my life be to me? They call these feminine wiles. Y'all know what that is? I'm sure y'all feminine, y'all women. I'm sure y'all used this before.
What, Jezebels?
No, no, just wiles, just the ability to
How
sway
women?
somebody with your femininity.
Oh,
Just to be able to
okay.
sway somebody with your
Yeah,
womanhood.
yeah.
And the reason
Seduce.
why, go ahead.
Seduce.
Yeah, but it wasn't that's part of it. But in this instance, remember, she already told Jacob she wanted him to go stay with her people, right?
Mhm.
So now she tell Isaac what she said, I don't want to marry a Hittite. So she's put in Isaac's head, as we're gonna see that it's him thinking it, right?
Right.
Then
I got a
Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and directed him. You must not take a wife from the Canaanite women. Arise, go to Padam Aram to the house of Bethel, your mother's father, and take as your wife from there one of the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. So now he feel like he the one telling him. You see what I'm saying? So now it
Mhm.
looked cool in front of everybody because his father told him to go. It's not just his mother, right? And do y'all see what I'm saying? What I'm saying in this instance and things like this, where sometimes the man feel like he'd have made a decision, but all the time it was the woman who pre-planned it.
mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Or not even just reduced to women, but it happens a lot of times, things where somebody who got somebody's ear and they can influence their decisions. El Shaddai, which this says God Almighty, but it's El Shaddai, bless you and make you fruitful and multiply you, that you may become a company of peoples. He didn't hold none against his son. Even though he was deceived, he knew he still had a duty as a father, right? So he still had to give him the blessings and make sure that he was protected and things like that. He's not knowing that he's protecting him from his brother. I don't know if they didn't want to tell him that, look, he planning on killing your other son after you die. I don't know if they didn't want to grieve him with that, but he just thinking that he's not thinking that he's sending him away because his brother gonna kill him. He think he's sending him away just because his mother don't want him marrying one of the Hittites, one of the descendants of the Canaanites. El Shaddai bless you and you should and make you fruitful and multiply that you may become a company of peoples. Like how you may have good descendants, a lot of people. I don't know the word I'm looking for, but basically the fruitful multiply, you can have a whole bunch of ancestors or descendants. May he give the blessing of Abraham to you. Now, this is the blessing. And he's talking about Yahuwah. May he give the blessing of Abraham to you and to your offspring with you, that you may take possession of the land of your sojournings that Elohim gave to Abraham. Thus Isaac sent Jacob away, and he went to Pandam Aram to Laban, the son of Bethuel the Aramean, the brother of Rebekah, Jacob and Esau's mother. So now he gone with the people, right? He going over there with his other kin folk and stuff. He getting away from danger and he getting away from the Canaanites. Twofold danger. We're gonna finish up with this passage. Now Esau thought that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him away to Padan Aram to take a wife from there. And that as he blessed him as he directed him, you shall not take a wife from the Canaanite women. And Jacob had obeyed his father and his mother and had gone to Padan Aram. So when Esau saw that the Canaanite women did not please Isaac, his father, Esau went to Ishmael and took as his wife, beside the wives he had Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nebaioth, or however you pronounce that name. The thing with this is he's like, dang, he said, this made Isaac mad, or this made my father mad that I had a Canaanite wife. He said, dang. And I guess he just didn't understand how his father and mother, and this is my conjecture, how his father and mother just didn't like the women he was choosing from. And so what he did to try to counteract that, to try to maintain favor with his father, because now he's seeing the blessings, right? He's seeing he getting blessings of, he about to go. He like, man, he said, I still want to appeal to my father's sensitivity. I still want him, I want to appease him. I want him to know that I still care about his words and things like that that mean something to me. So he went and took another wife, who was Ishmaelite, a descendant of Ishmael, his daughter actually. And remember Ishmael, anybody, who was Ishmael?
That's his first son.
Who's first son?
Isaac.
No, Ishmael, Abraham's first son.
I mean Abraham.
Yeah. And so Ishmael's a Hebrew, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
now Esau is trying to get back in the mix of it all. This is the rejection and the exception. Now, this is where it happened, a blessing. When it says that, how do you know I love you? When we go back, this is where it starts to make sense. When you understand the account in Genesis 25 throughout, go back and say, I have loved you, says Yahuwah, but you say, how have you loved us? It's not Esau, Jacob's brother, declares Yahuwah. Yeah, I love Jacob, but Esau I hated. So basically saying, like, I chose Jacob. That's how you know I love you. And so it wasn't just a clear-cut choice. He showed his love in the context of, it's simple if I just made Jacob the oldest, but I took him from being second and made him first. So it's basically saying right here, I chose you over Esau. I chose the Israelites over the Edomites. Out of
But
love.
how though? I don't get that.
Because who's Yahuwah's nation?
The Hebrew.
No, the Hebrew.
Right. I mean Israel, yeah. But what I'm saying is you saying he chose him, but we just we just read how he was the second born. He got the blessings because his mother set him up to be deceitful to get the blessing,
Do you
not
think,
his.
if we say that the Most High is the author of all things, do you not understand, or do you not believe that he allowed that to happen?
And that's where I'm just about to get to. That's
All
what my
right,
question
go
is,
ahead,
so
go
I
ahead.
don't mix it.
Go ahead.
He is the author of all things.
Mm-hmm.
So we're here, part of his nation, off deceit, off the author of
Go
you.
ahead.
Are you hearing what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I hear what
he
you
is
said.
the author of all things. So
Yeah,
we're only part of the nation because of deceit.
we part of the
Technically,
nation.
we weren't supposed to be here, supposed to be chosen.
If he told her from the beginning, if the Most High know the end from the beginning, do you think it's any accidents?
No, but why? How do we know that he's the author of Rebecca doing that? So that's the same as saying, "Well, the devil made me do it."
Okay, remember the scripture we was talking about when the Most High gave that prophet a lion spirit. Remember that, you mean?
The lion spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You remember
Okay,
that?
yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
so this is similar to that. You see that?
I see it, but I don't.
Let's even go like this.
Mm,
If the Most High allowed Rebecca to do this,
yeah,
do you think that the Most High is wicked or deceitful?
I don't. I don't think he's wicked or deceitful. I'm just calling it as it is. It was deceitful how we got here,
Okay. And it's crazy.
right?
I promise you, this white lady was arguing the same thing one time on this video I was watching.
No, that's
But
what I'm saying. Am I right? I mean,
you're not right or you're not wrong. It's just how you feel.
oh,
But just explanation wise, we go to Romans 9, the 9th chapter of Romans. Y'all ain't got to go, it's on the screen.
okay.
And it goes right in everything we've been studying. And I'll go straight to, and this is on the heels of Paul just explaining what we're talking about. I started at 8. It says that is, matter of fact, just giving context, I read from the beginning. And I say this, I say the truth in Messiah, I lie not, my conscience also bearing me witness is Ruach HaKodesh. that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. For I wish for myself were accursed from the Messiah, from my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of Elohim and the promises. Whose are the fathers, and whom are concerning the flesh Messiah came, who is over all, Elohim blessed forever. Amen. Not as though the word of Elohim is not taking effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all his children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. So this is a separation between Isaac and Ishmael. So it's saying right here that even though that they both put other children coming from Abraham, the promise is going through Isaac. Now we could talk fair and unfair in this context too, because Isaac wasn't the oldest child, and this could come from Abraham. Ishmael was.
Right.
But the Most High chose Isaac for this lineage to go through. That is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of Elohim, but the children of the promise are counted for his seed. What it's saying right here. Just because you are physically coming from the lineage of Abraham do not make you the children of the Most High. The children of the Most High are his nation, Israel, because these are the children of the promise. He promised that his power was going to go through them, through these particular people right here. So it's saying that the Israelites are counted as the children, not just anybody who physically from Abraham, but this particular lineage. Y'all follow me right here?
Mm-hmm.
You got me, Jermaine?
Yeah.
Okay. For this is the word of promise. At this time I will come and Sarah will have a child. This is the promise he told about Sarah having a child. That's where the promise was at. And not only this, but when Rebekah had also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac. For the children being not yet born, neither having done good or evil, that the purpose of Elohim according to his election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. So that's again when we say we chose, and like we didn't work for it. That's how it can be said, not by doing anything good or evil. They hadn't done evil or good when the Most High made a distinction between them two, right?
Right.
Nobody had done evil or good, but just the purpose of his election, just by his will and by his power. When we born, we the children of Israel. Somebody from another nation would just say somebody from Edom, or somebody from the Amalekites, somebody from the Ishmaelites. None of us at 1 year old have ever done anything to gain or lose the favor of the Most High. So when we was a child or children, we was just chosen because the Most High loved us, right? Because he chose. It wasn't nothing we did. So he's saying this in the instance of Abraham and Esau and Jacob. It was said unto her, the elder shall suffer the younger, as it is written. Jacob I have loved, selected, but Esau have hated, rejected. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with Elohim? Yah forbid. For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it is not him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but Elohim that showeth mercy. For the scripture said unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout the earth. Therefore hath he mercy on whom he may have mercy, and whom he will harden. So it's saying he can be, what I'm saying, he can show mercy on who he want to. And he can raise somebody up like the Pharaoh, harden his heart if he want to, mark him for destruction. This is the most important part. Thou will say then unto me, why doth he yet find fault? For who hath resisted his will? So it's like, well, if he raised the Pharaoh up, what chance did the Pharaoh have? It ain't fair to the Pharaoh. Nay, but oh man, who art thou that replies against Elohim? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me like this? Have not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make out of one vessel into honor and another to dishonor? So it's saying like when a potter or somebody who creating something, I hate that I just read from the King James because always anyway, being that the Most High is the author of everything, I find it kind of hard to critique. And not saying that that's what you was doing, but it's letting us know that the Most High is in control of all these things. He deems who he wants to curse, and he deems who he wants to bless. And the way he gets things done is just part of his will. That's how come I started off at the beginning. I asked was telling a lie of sin.
Right.
Now,
So
had it
that's what I'm
been,
saying is,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No,
No,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
You said what?
Right. So I forget what I was about to say. Go ahead. I'll probably remember.
I'm gonna go back to 19 because it's more clear. In the ESV, you will say then to me, why does he still find fault? Who can resist his will? But who are you, O man, to answer back to Elohim? What is Moses says? What does Moses say to the molder? Why have you made me like this? Has the potter no right over the clay to make out of the same lump one vessel for honorable use and another for dishonorable use? So if somebody who potting stuff, making like jars, clay jars, he make one clay jar to put money in. The other clay jar he make to put trash in, right? Y'all getting me?
Right.
Yeah.
If you go in there, you say you can't. Can you say to him, "Why are you making these like this?" When they his pots and he can do whatever he want to with them.
Right.
What if Elohim, desiring to show his wrath and to make known his power, has endured with much patience vessels of wrath prepared for destruction, in order to make known the riches of the glory of the vessels of mercy, which he has prepared before glory, even us to whom he has called, not from the Yahudim only, but also from the Gentiles. As indeed he says in Hosea, those who were not my people, I will call my people, and her who was not beloved, I will call beloved. And in the very place where it is said to them, you are not my people, they will be called the sons of the living Elohim. So, and as Isaiah cried out from Israel, cried out concerning Israel, though the number of the sons of Israel be as the sand of the sea, only a remnant of them will be saved, for Yahuwah will carry out his sins upon the earth fully without delay, as Isaiah predicted. If Yahuwah of hosts had not left of offspring, we would be like Sodom and become like Gomorrah. So just to summarize everything that Paul's saying, he's saying that the promises go through Israel, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. People would say, well, he shouldn't have did this, that shouldn't have happened, or this shouldn't have happened. But at the end of the day, he's writing the story, and we don't get our hand in to say what was right or wasn't right. Your question, your confusion is logical. It's logical. The way we sit here and we understand it, she was deceitful. Rebecca was deceitful in her actions. But we have to also understand that before Rebecca knew anything how to love her children, who would have a favor for anything, the Most High had already deemed who he was going to choose. She was a vessel. The prophecy had already taken place. She was only a vessel. Do you remember when the prophecy was instituted?
No, I don't remember that.
When Abraham was 20, 40.
No, you remember Isaac was 40, right? This is when the promise took place.
Yeah,
These are the generations. Oh no, just jump down to 23. And Yahuwah said to her, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 people from within you shall be divided. The one will be stronger than the other, and the older shall serve the younger. Now, do you remember that's when the first promise was instituted?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, and so we jump up to when
The older shall serve the younger.
yeah.
Okay.
And so when we jump back to when the blessings come. Now this is Yahuwah's work. So when he blessed him, he tell him Isaac tells um Jacob. He tell him, he said, so he went back and bought them 18 says, so he went to his father. He said, my father, he said, who are you? We get through all that. He didn't recognize him, gave him the food. 28, may Elohim give you the dew of the earth, dew of heaven, and of the fatness of the earth, and plenty of grain and wine. Let people serve you, and nations bow down to you. Be Lord over your brothers. And may your mother's sons bow down to you. Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be everyone who blesses you. Right? So this is just the fulfillment of the prophecy. When Esau came crying, and he was complaining about it, and he asked, did you reserve a blessing for me? Esau told him in verse 37, behold, I have made him Lord over you and over all his brothers. I have given him for service, and with grain and wine I have sustained him. They follow in the Most High's decree, no matter how it's going or how it's perceived. This is what the Most High ordained from the beginning. It's just that the Most High put people in places and stuff to do his bidding, whether we understand it or not. That's how come they brought it to Pharaoh. People can be like, well, it says that Yahuwah hardened Pharaoh's heart and he wouldn't allow him. Like he couldn't even now, if he wanted to change his mind and be nice, the Most High wasn't going to allow it, right?
Right.
And some people be like, that's not fair. And he like, I'm not about what you think fair. I'm about getting this thing done. And that's how come we have to get fair out of our mind is righteous, and Yahuwah is righteous. He said, if I want to, or what he do, he raised somebody so evil. He makes somebody so evil. Because it's for us, though. He made the Pharaoh so evil, so seemingly insurmountable, so rude, so disrespectful against him to make an example for the people that he got his own. He made him seem so mighty and so powerful that when he destroyed him, what it would do, it would show how Most High loved his people, right? So
Yeah.
he built the evil character up so it'd be a satisfaction in destroying him in front of his people to show his power. Because at this time,
Basically, he created our enemies. Basically, he created our enemies. He made us to have enemies.
Or he allowed them to get to a certain position. You know what I'm saying? Like in this particular setting right here, like we've been under the thumb of the system for so long that some people just bow out to it, where people fear the government or whatever more than they feel the Most High, right? People more scared of the police, and because these people have been dominating us on a physical level for so long that they can't conceive of nothing like changing. Like some people just be like, forget it, we hear this how it's gonna be. And that's how come we talk about in the last days, where when the big tribulation come to where it's gonna be some last minute hitting the game winner stuff for the people who out here getting smacked around. Like they're gonna be in the most dire situation where the only thing they can do is call on the Most High, and then that's when he gonna show his face, because it's always like the hero at the end of the movie, and I'm gonna show y'all who I am. So he used these instances stuff to bring esteem and glory to himself. You understand that? Like we've been praising him for us modernly, as a whole nation. We don't serve him like we supposed to. We always been stiff necked and hard-headed. So it take amazing things for us to finally listen and believe. Like we talk about the plagues in Exodus a lot, and we talk about it from a centuries or even millenniums down the line perspective, to where we don't understand. Like even when we sit here and talk about it, to see a land just locusts is covering everything, right? To see everything go dark everywhere except Goshen, to see all the water everywhere turning to blood. Imagine that here, where it ain't just the water outside, the ocean, the puddles, but you turning your sink, it's blood. You pick up your water bottles, it's blood. Can y'all imagine how crazy that had to be right then?
All right.
Then even more so where everybody firstborn who not on our side die. Do you understand how powerful that make Yahuwah look now?
Yeah.
Now everybody like, he powerful, he powerful. It's gonna be the same thing that happened on a more minuscule level. And it goes back to show this is how he showed his love. This is who he chose. He knew he was choosing. He knew he was choosing Jacob, who became Israel, to run his promises through. We vessels. That's all we are, as vessels. Like we here to do a job. The Most High might tell you to do something deceitful. He ain't tell her to do nothing hurtful, did he?
Right.
She didn't do nothing hurtful. Do you understand that she was chose to do what she did? Like, remember, we get an outline of things. I don't know if
Yeah. I mean, it just
your reaction is a human reaction, but we don't understand the total ins and outs of everything. Like, we
right.
give a
We
little bit more
right.
left out, but
We
I'm
don't. It's
too.
just
The Most High wasn't gonna let this stuff be polluted with Esau, who seemingly had a proclivity to deal with foreign women. We understand how foreign women split up the
but
kingdom.
even in that sense, you said that Esau started looking around thinking, oh dang, I didn't realize this was a problem. So he didn't know.
He knew. He knew. He knew. We didn't know
This was,
before
you
Esau.
know
He
what,
knew.
I'm gonna say this.
Yeah. That's last minute
Out of
argument
all
blessing. Let me see if I can fix it.
out of all the studies, this was a bit overwhelming for me.
What you mean when we get into the kingdom, you can ask Rebecca why she lied like
This listen, this overwhelming as in I ain't about to, I ain't about to question or look or think of you who or no other way, but yeah, it's overwhelming.
you got to just write down everything you want to say when you get into the
Man,
kingdom.
I heard you had a question for me. Hey,
All right, you were looking for me.
I'm just here.
And then remember in the promises where it
My
says
red face is just here.
remember he said it, remember he said whoever curse you, I'm gonna curse, whoever bless you, I'm gonna bless.
Yeah,
We ain't sure exactly, but remember the beef went on, the Edomites versus the Israelites. And remember how he said, I'm gonna curse whoever curse you.
yeah,
It says that Esau have hated, I have laid waste his hill country and left his heritage to jackals of the desert. If Edom says we are shattered, but we will rebuild the ruins, Yahuwah of hosts says they may build, but I tear down, and they will be called the wicked country and the people with whom Yahuwah is angry forever. These are the things like, because they curse us, you know what I'm saying? Like, they would let us pass through their territory when we out in the wilderness and things like this. But it also say in scripture that we're not supposed to abhor Edomites. I had to pass it up. I must close the tab, but these are speaking of specific instances when the Most High talk going against Edom and things like that. At the end of the day, Edom and Edomites are Hebrews. They come
right,
from Abraham too. They get some kind of promise through Abraham, where Abraham was gonna have lots of nations and things like that. So even when it says that he hated, however people interpret or take that, the Most High didn't authorize us to hate nobody. He wants us to hate ways and customs. Like individually, if people righteous, whatever nation from they righteous, they respect and serve Yahuwah, we can deal with them. But when people just go against Yahuwah, then we don't got to deal with them. We ain't gonna have no kind of reverence for them at all. But we supposed to be respectful to everybody, no matter the nation, as long as they're respectful to us and our power. So when the Most High said he hated Esau, we got to contextualize it, because he also told us to not ever abhor. Abhor means to hate an Edomite or an Egyptian. He said the Edomites because they are brothers, and he said the Egyptians because you sojourn with them. Now remember, for a long portion of time when the brothers, 12 tribes, the 12 brothers before they actually became tribes, dealt with the famine and went to Egypt, they were shown favor because they showed Joseph favor, remember?
Right.
When they was there before, they all lived a healthy and full life before we went into captivity in Egypt. We wasn't always in captivity. It was times where they treated us with respect. And the Most High take note of these things. When people treat when y'all children are away from y'all and you hear about somebody treating them bad, you want to hurt them people, don't you?
yeah,
Flip side, when you hear about somebody treating them nice, it warm your heart, don't it? And give you a
yeah,
soft spot for them, right?
yeah,
Make you remember, like later on down the line, they need something. You be like, oh, I got you. You helped my child, right? So that's
yeah,
how the Most High is compassion to these other nations and things like that. When people help or harm us, these things are noted. But yeah, thanks, Rebecca. I'm grateful to Rebecca. I'm grateful for her to see, because I'm a child of promise. I'm one of the chosen ones because of that.
right, yeah,
I'm grateful for it. And then again, also remember that we're not going to understand everything. I only justify because it's the Most High's will. That's again when we was talking about sometimes things happen and we don't understand it. but we know that it's beyond our understanding. We know that the Most High did it, so it's right. It's not us being ignorant, it's us having faith in him and his decisions and being aware of the fact that this is his, that the whole world is his, right? And that's what we always have to remember, that everything is his. The whole earth is his. And so that's why we don't try to overstand these things or try to like make sense of them, because we start getting these conflicts of conscience and things like that. Questioning things is not wrong though. Questioning and studying things like that. Sometimes you question things and you get an answer and you're still not satisfied with the answer, but you go on, right? So yeah. Outside of that, anybody got any
No.
questions? Don't do that. That's,
Oh, my bad.
don't do that. Anybody got any questions?
No.
No.
Trying to see something quick. Oh, there you go. Let me see. Stop the shit. Go ahead and pray out. Hallelujah. Thank you, Father, for allowing us to come before you to get this study in. It's always a blessing to go for your word, to get some insight, to have good conversation going back and forth for your word. I pray that you allow us to get some understanding as you see fit, so that we can just continue to grow in your word and become who you want us to be. We understand that these may be the last days, so we want to be fully equipped as much as we can to be prepared for the return of your son, the King, when he comes to reestablish the kingdom. At your behest, I ask you to continue to bless everybody here on this chat. I ask you to please give Brenda, Bubs, and Ronika, I ain't Bubs, Ronika, Bubs and Gary's favor today. It's a day that you know is kind of hard, not only for them, but for the other family who love Ramirez and can't wait to see him again in the kingdom. Just give us comfort on how to just continue to focus on life and keep his memory alive. And we thank you always and often for allowing us to have spent the time that we did get to spend waiting for us, and the way we receive or perceive things, that it wasn't a long enough time, but it definitely gave us enough memories to have us anticipating to when we get to sing for the longest time ever, which is eternity. Everything you do is righteous and is within your perfect plan. And we thank you for every single thing that happens in our life, whether we deem it good or bad. We know that you use it to build us and sometimes to break us so you can rebuild us. We thank you for everything. We can't thank you enough. You almighty, perfect, righteous, and every single thing. You all we have in this system. You the only power. You the only thing that we can latch on to. All these things we ask in your holy and your righteous name. Hallelujah. Amen.